Lucid announced second quarter 2022 financial results, and there was one hugely disappointing thing in these earnings reports, and 2 or 3 very good things, and 2 or 3 things that we just need to be aware of going forward. So what is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor, and today we are going to be speaking all about this, all about Lucid Motors second quarter results. I made a video speaking about it beforehand, and if you watch that video, you'll be aware that there was pretty much just one thing, just one thing we did not want to see happen, and it was this third sentence here. The production volume outlook for 2022 was revised to a range of 6,000 to 7,000 vehicles, okay? So initially, it was 20,000 vehicles, okay? That was revised down to 12,000 to 14,000. There was a bad reaction off of this in itself. People were not happy to see this. They never are with these EV stocks. We never want to see these revisions happening. It makes a lot of questions appear. So it's not just as simple as seeing that there's going to be less deliveries. Now we have to know, should we expect disappointments across the board anywhere else? And so this was pretty much the only thing, the thing I stressed the most in that video that we did not want to see. And we saw it. And it's quite clear to see that people weren't happy with the reaction. Lucid did drop close to 10%, if not a little bit more on the day. It was somewhere in those realms. So yeah, people weren't too happy. We will take a look at the price action towards the end of this video though, because it's not as bad as it could have been. So we're going to be looking at this. We're going to be comparing some things actually from last quarter's earnings, okay, some of the key statistics to this quarter's ones. And we'll just see what we can expect to happen next, okay? Of course, as well, I am going to take you through, as I said, this chart. We are going to take a look at some of the price action, because when you zoom out a little bit, given that the one thing we really didn't want to happen happened, the price action wasn't as bad as it could have been. Really quickly, guys, can I please ask you, hit that juicy like button, drop me a comment down below, and subscribe if you're new around here. All of that helps me out absolutely hugely, okay? So just really quickly, Q2 revenue of $97.3 million, driven by customer deliveries of 679 vehicles in the quarter. Now, this does bring the total up past the 1,000 mark. It was 360 in the first quarter, now 679. Decent. I don't think people were expecting too much. I said myself, if it was 1,000 plus, that would have been fantastic. If there was an accumulation of 1,000 total, that would be fine, baseline, and that is what we saw. So, fine. Nothing special there, nothing to be excited about whatsoever. Strong demand with over 37,000 reservations, representing potential sales of approximately $3.5 billion. Now, this demand increase is fantastic. That's 7,000 reservations in the quarter. I personally thought we could see like 3,000 to 5,000, so 7,000 is absolutely beautiful. But what it means is this isn't really going to be much of a catalyst anymore. Yes, we have potential sales volume, we have strong demand, but we are not seeing the production. And what's the point of all of this demand if there's no production? We've seen it with many companies in the past, in the EV space, and all over the place, realistically. If you have the demand, you have to have the product, or else it is just numbers on paper, and it is just, sure, it's a way that you can go and calculate your future cash flows, etc., whatever, but it's not going to be a very important thing for investors right now, this very moment in time. So am I happy to see this? Yes, I definitely am happy to see the reservations going up, but it's nowhere near enough to take away the disappointment from the production volume being revised for the second time. So we've gone from 20,000 to 6,000 to 7,000, and it's we just don't want to see this become a theme with every quarterly report from Lucid. We don't want every single time them to come out and bring that outlook down. That's the last thing we want to see happen. We want to see, the production volume outlook going up. So why is this happening, okay? Our revised production guidance reflects the extraordinary supply chain and logistic challenges we encountered, said Peter Rawlinson. Of course, I mean, you're always going to say that. It's pretty much the cop-out of the EV world right now. Not that I'm saying this is a cop-out, but it's such an easy excuse. Nobody can particularly prove nor disprove this statement. Nobody can say if it's as bad as they're making it out to be or better. So it's a blanket statement. It is an easy way out right now. But anyway, we've identified the primary bottlenecks, and we are taking appropriate measures, bringing our logistic operations in-house, adding key hires to the executive team, and also, I think they hired nearly 900 more people last quarter. We'll have a look in a moment. And restructuring our logistics and manufacturing organization. We continue to see strong demand for our vehicles, blah, 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 and I remain confident that we shall overcome these near-term challenges. So again, not really giving us much there. That's kind of what you have to say. And I'm not coming across very bullish right now. I should still state the fact, I am extremely bullish on Lucid in the long term, but I'm also not going to come here and just sugarcoat the bad things. Our Q2 revenue was 97.3 million, okay? So now the next thing we're going to have to question is the cash flows, because they have a strong cash position, but, you know, are we going to see revisions there? Are they going to have to do capital raises at some stage? So we continue to have a strong balance sheet, closing the quarter with $4.6 billion in cash equivalent and investments, which we believe is sufficient to fund the company well into 2023. So this is what we were told still from Q1. Thankfully, we didn't have to see that get updated just yet. But yeah, that's what they have said from the start. Sufficient liquidity well into 2023. So no update there. Hopefully it does stay that way. That's from the CFO, by the way, not the CEO. Despite our immediate challenges, we believe that bringing our logistics center on site at our Arizona factory will help reduce complexity, cut down lead times, and reduce various costs. Okay. One more thing I'd like to point out is I read the entirety, obviously, of this, and there's not a lot to read. there was nothing in this particular quarter that made me super excited. Yes, there is good news. Yes, there are solid things, but not quite as much as we got from the first quarter. There was a couple of more things in here that got me a little bit more excited. I think they could have just, you know, drag this out a little bit, if for nothing else, than to just make it a little bit better. On the left, this is for Q1, okay, and on the right here, this is going to be for Q2. So customer deliveries up to 679 from 360, reservations up about 7,000, potential sales up 0.6 billion, which again, obviously, is fantastic. You want the potential sales number to be higher and higher and higher, but again, the point I just made, does it really matter yet? Studio and service centers up to 29 from 24. So, I mean, that's definitely a solid. That's definitely a very happy thing. It is also going to lead to expenditures going up. You'll see here about 310 million, up from 185. And cash on hand gone down about 800 million. 900 more employees, okay? Now, I'm going to put it out there right now. I think that we are going to see a capital raise at some stage before they are making it out to be. They're saying they have the capital to get through, you know, a majority of 2023. I don't think we're going to get by anywhere near that far without seeing a raise, which again is temporarily going to bring the stock's price down in the short term. But again, that's just when we can add to our longer term positions. Very lackluster quarter, guys. I'm not going to lie. And again, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't think it's that bad, okay? It's not that bad, but there's nothing to it. And those reservations coming down is bad. Yes, we have a lot of new hirees, but we're also burning through our money a lot faster than we expected, and we're not delivering and producing the amount of vehicles that we have expected as investors. So what does that mean for us? What does that mean for us long-term investors? Should we be super worried? Should we be selling out of our positions and trying to time the market? Ultimately, I don't think that's something you should be looking to do very often whatsoever, but I want to show you guys the chart, okay? We've been in this period of consolidation since the last week or so, a little bit more, okay? We haven't really broken through the $18 mark much, and we haven't been able to pass past the 18.50-ish mark. We finally got a nice run into earnings. People were getting excited. They broke $20 again, broke that, you know, slightly longer term area, or shorter term area of resistance, I suppose, back going towards May. And yeah, that's when we got the bad earnings. We came right back down, but look, we landed right back in the area we were before the pre-earnings run-up happened. So that would lead you to think that, you know, people aren't really thinking too much differently about Lucid after this earnings report. Yes, there was a huge sell-off, but it was also off the back of a 2-day huge run-up. Ultimately, not too much has happened here price action-wise. And today, after people got to, you know, cool off a bit, we can see that people picked up shares pretty quickly once Lucid had that fast sell-off. Today, again, a pretty harsh sell-off, and people have been picking up shares quite a bit again. So for me, we're still kind of in no man's land. It's still not a place where I would want to buy more shares, especially not given a few of the things I spoke about in today's video. Yeah, I mean, obviously, in 10 years' time, would I look back and probably think, damn, I wish I bought more shares at 18.30? Yes, but in the short term, though, I think that, you know, there's not going to be another 10, 15, maybe even 20% piece of pain in our futures in the relatively near future. It could well happen. We have entered this short-term uptrend, and we are seeing some healthy consolidation. We've also seen healthy upward moves as opposed to just huge upward moves like back here that lead to huge downward moves. That's why I'm not really upset about this price action whatsoever. In fact, it's looking quite positive from my point of view, especially if it does stay above this area of consolidation for another few days, maybe even going into next week. We could genuinely just see an upward move, and maybe we won't see the sell-off that I somewhat expect, back down to, you know, the mid-15s or even high 16, somewhere in this realms. It really would not surprise me to see all of this liquidity get taken out before an upward move happens. That's my thoughts on the coder, guys. I know it's not a very in-depth video, but there's not really very much to go in-depth with. You know, there wasn't anything too crazy here. There wasn't anything life-changing. There wasn't anything game-changing for the company, which, you know, happening for one quarter is all well and good, but I'm gonna be relatively worried, for lack of a better term, relatively worried going into the next quarter, because people won't be as kind if there is a disappointment again. But anyway, guys, if you watch this video all the way till the end, you, my friend, are a true legend, and I really do appreciate you being here from the bottom of my heart. Your support means the world to me. Please do hit that like button, drop me that comment, and subscribe if you're new around here. Again, all of that helps me out so much. Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. I'll see you in another video very soon. I hope you have a good, safe weekend. Peace.